Welcome to Hearts and Stripes, your one-stop shop for all things military marriage. I hope our discussions and interviews equip you with the tools to start or grow a beautiful marriage as we address the benefits and challenges of MILF marriage. I believe life's most precious moments are worth celebrating, so I'll help you design your marriage blueprint in alignment with your core values. Thank you for joining us, and remember to rate, subscribe, and review. Let's do this. Hello, and welcome to Hearts and Stripes podcast. I am your host, Bree Carroll, and I am so excited for you to join us for today's Heart to Heart. So if you have not been here before, have not listened, and this is your first time, welcome. We are all about strengthening military marriages, which is why I'm extra excited about this interview today. I will be chatting with Mario and Janelle. They are both engineers in the space industry. Shout out to all my engineers out there. They have been married for 11 years and have two beautiful children. So Janelle is actually a lieutenant colonel in the United States Air Force, and she has served for 19 years and has been in command twice. Mario is an engineering manager, for a major defense contractor. Both of them in the STEM industry. I love that. Science, technology, engineering, and math for those who are unaware of what STEM is. And they are advocates for pursuing those career paths. They also serve as marriage facilitators at their local church. So I am super excited to hear the advice and insight that this power couple brings to us as they can share how they navigate one, having the serving spouse be a woman in the Air Force, and as they are both dual income families, both in the STEM field. So without further ado, let's chat with Mario and Janelle. So Mario and Janelle, thank you so much for joining us on Hearts and Stripes podcast. I'm excited to chat with you. Say hello to everyone and share a little bit about your marriage story.
Hello. So my name is Mario and this is Janelle. We have been married now for 11 years.
Yes. And, congrats.
My beautiful wife is active duty Air Force, and I am a government contractor.
That is awesome.
Engineers, we have two little ones. I guess they're not too little. Elementary school.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That is awesome.
Yeah.
What engineering discipline are the two of you, or did you start out with? Because I know some engineers, oftentimes we end up in this general engineering box as well. So what discipline did you start with? Mechanical?
And electrical.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Mechanical and electrical. I'm actually a civil. So I love y'all, but we do soils. we don't mess with all those circuits and other thermo and stuff that we try to stay away from. But I'm excited to chat with you guys, both being engineers and then navigating that active duty lifestyle with being a dual income family, which is not always typical for our community, to be honest. And also, let me just call out the elephant in the room, if you will. You are a male spouse, and that's awesome. And I'm so thankful for you to be on here and share kind of a little bit of your perspective, which may be different than other spouses in Air Force or just armed forces in general. So your marriage story, I guess, let's jump into kind of where did you guys meet? And then maybe what is one of the more challenging parts of your marriage?
So we met in, I want to say 2006 at a work holiday party.
Oh, nice.
So she was a wonderful captain at that time, and I was a young engineer that was just looking to have fun that evening, and and ran into this beautiful woman, and I actually knew on that day that she was going to be my wife.
Oh, that's all. See, the smile got him. That's what happened.
Yes.
The smile got him.
However, she didn't know that.
Oh,
No,
she didn't know that.
not at all.
She said that's not the vibe she got that evening.
So there were a number of false starts.
Okay.
We actually dated for a little while, and it didn't work. And then I like to say that God was birthing something within me in order to prepare me to be her husband.
That's good.
And we saw each other about
9 months later.
exactly 9 months later, and I asked her on a date, and she
I told him my number hadn't changed. So.
Oh, well, see, that sounds like a yes to me. I'm saying that sounds like a yes.
And actually, and from that point forward, we have been basically inseparable. So,
That is awesome.
yeah, it definitely worked out things.
Yeah, and I love how you said that you knew that that was going to be your wife. She did not get that same download, but it was a process of you growing in and of yourself to be prepared to take a relationship to the next level. And I really love that you shared that part, because I always like to say, as an engineer, I say marriage math is just different. You need 1 + 1 = 1. You have to show up whole in your relationship so that collectively you can come together and have a strong and healthy marriage. And I think that kind of talks to some of your message when you are encouraging people to be a team and be together on things. You still have to be right within yourself, right? Build yourself, grow and develop, whether that be intellectually or through hobbies and your own individual feats. But coming together as a team has just been hugely valuable. I've seen in my relationship, and I'm sure you can attest in yours.
Definitely. And I applaud him, because definitely marrying into the military life, like, that's a whole nother level.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, that's a whole nother level to marry into the military life, moving all around, not sure, where you're going to be employed, where you're going to be. And for him to commit to us and commit to our marriage, I'm so thankful, so thankful that he decided that, yeah, okay, this is us, this is our life, we're gonna do this. And
Yeah. And you said you weren't ready. What does that mean, Mario? What does it mean when you said you just weren't, you weren't ready? You didn't know.
We had when we went through marriage counseling, it was brought up to me like, hey, she's in the military, you're going to get moved to various locations, and there's sometimes where you might be underemployed. And I was like, underemployed? I'm young, I'm black, I have 2 degrees. I was like, I got this on lock.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a humbling experience.
Oh, okay.
yes.
So definitely was humbled.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, going into every single move, and thankfully I've built a great network over the course of the years.
Yeah.
Work network, professional and non-professional network to sort of help us out and look around for opportunities. Then they can come track me down, as opposed to me having to track them down.
Exactly.
But there were still some hiccups in the road that were caused by other extenuating circumstances,
right,
that were happening with government budgets and sequestration and
oh yeah, you remember that one too. Yes, sequestration. That was a whole lot of overcoming there for everyone. Yes.
So true. But yeah, I persevered through, and thankful.
I love that. So tell us about more of your challenging parts. You said there was a humbling experience and underemployment. What did that look like? As you mentioned previously, being at a really challenging assignment, kind of paint that picture for us of all the things that were going on.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it was our second assignment after getting married. And like Mario mentioned, in our premarital counseling, our counselor had talked about being underemployed. And sure enough, in this assignment, he was underemployed. And so the Air Force had sent me to get my master's degree, and then I had a follow on. And so, like, I'm leaving the house every day, going to work. And I mean, he was working, but it wasn't what he was accustomed to
Right.
doing.
Right.
And so that's where the underemployment came in and the humbling experience. But he persevered. I give him credit because he would get up every day. He did what he had to do. He made sure that his family was taken care of. At that time, we had one child. He made sure that we were all taken care of. And then he would go to his Panera office. And so he would work out of Panera and do what he had to do there. But again, just really taking care of our family.
Yeah.
In the course of all of that, like I said, I was getting my master's degree, and then we found out we were pregnant. I was pregnant with our second child, and so we're going through pregnancy and doing what pregnant women do, right?
Right.
Go to your appointments and whatnot, and so at this particular appointment, roughly 20 weeks into the pregnancy, we found out that our child had a heart defect,
Wow.
congenital heart defect. And so that was a moment where it was like, okay, okay,
Right. Like what else? Right.
okay, okay, we're gonna work through this. We're gonna be good. We can do this.
Mhm. Mhm.
So really coming together, talking, what's the plan? And I'm so thankful. Our doctor, Children's Hospital, our doctor was so wonderful because he was like, you and we're gonna be together for a while. And I'm gonna tell you what you need to know when you need to know it. I don't want to scare you. I don't want to put too much on you too early. And so it really helped between the two of us that there's actually a movie about our son's condition that he
Wow.
he told us to go watch the movie. It's
Mm.
called something.
Gifted hands.
No, something the Lord made.
Something the Lord made.
Something the Lord made.
Mhm.
And so he was like, "Go watch the movie, so you understand what's happening." And so
Wow.
okay, so so we watched it. We came back with our questions, but I mean, truly, when he said that he was going to be with us every step of the way, he was with us. So
and he knew that both of us were engineers, and so
and
we appreciated flow diagrams.
Oh, yes. Give
Yeah,
me the data, right?
Right, let's get some schematics.
Yeah, he drew it out. He was like, "This is what's happening," and so this and this and that. Like he drew. We still have that picture, as a matter of fact.
Oh, wow.
Good. He was so good. So, we go through the pregnancy, and now it's time to deliver. And I ended up, again, just how things worked. And I know your show is not necessarily a religious show, but we are faith-based Christians, and so like we are very thankful because I was induced.
Mhm.
Because he had the heart defect, the doctors wanted to make sure that there was a team around us at birth. Well, I ended up actually having an emergency C-section.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So again, just thankful that the team was there. We were in the hospital, we were in place, so that they could receive him, right? And so kind of came in a way that we didn't expect with the emergency C-section, but he
Yeah.
was good, they were there. And dad, this is where even being underemployed, he was able to be there at the hospital every day, again, taking care of all of us, right? Being at all the appointments, being at
Yeah.
everything, right? During the time when it was real stressful, we're trying to be there and make sure one child is okay. And this is also where we started really building community because I was in a cohort, and even being in the hospital after having the C-section, members of the cohort brought us food.
Wow.
One of
Yeah.
the members watched our first child for like 3 days. Like,
Yes, that is awesome.
and then members of our church family, they were there at the hospital. Like they were there like round the clock, like
Mm. Mhm.
staying with us. So all of that really just encouraged us. And so then fast forward a little bit, we're now out of the hospital. Again, I'm in my master's program, so I can't take really off like I want to. And
Yeah.
so we were really praying, like, who's going to help us watch this child? At that time, Mario had been employed. He gained the employment that he rightfully deserved. I would say
Mhm.
rightfully deserved, but
It's a 150-mile
round
round trip
trip,
commute.
round trip.
Oh,
So per day, right? And
wow.
so like an hour and a half away. So he's doing that commute. And so we were like, who's going to help us with this child? And I told you I had been at the Panera office. And there was a woman there that, like you go there often enough that you know the workers, you know who comes in and out, that kind of thing.
Right.
And he had been mentioning,
I didn't mention it at all.
I thought I mentioned it to the ladies.
No.
Oh, well, he had been
Wow.
praying about it. She had
Mm-hmm.
been praying about childcare. She had been praying about watching a child, and um, they started talking.
Yeah, and my ears perked up, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Excuse me."
Right, right. It
it
sounds like,
Like,
sounds like
and so
yeah.
I expressed what I
yes.
we were just praying about, and then set up a meeting with my wife and her, and they hit it off instantly. And she was able to, she took care of Jaden from
Right? Yeah,
that point
from that point
forward.
on, and I mean, he's done well, and she's still a part of our family,
That is amazing.
and
I
then
love it.
where he ended up being employed. So fast forward, so my son having the heart defect that he has, he had to have open heart surgery, and so where they sent us to the hospital ended up being around the corner where Mario ended up working. So he could
Wow.
work, he could come over to the hospital, go back and forth. Like we could set up a routine, right? And we had family. Don't get us wrong. Like our family, but our family had to travel in, right? So they couldn't
Right.
be there every day. So our community, again, our church family, cohort family became our family. Like they became community, and we're still really really close with them today. So that assignment truly made us a team. Like we had to depend on each other. We had to depend on God. We had to depend on our communication, right? Just like
Yes.
expressing concerns, things that we were uneasy about, but really building that foundation for us. And I have to say, every element of our premarital counseling came into play. So,
There you go. Right. So let's foot stop premarital counseling for anyone
Yes.
to
yeah,
navigate these challenging times. No, I love that. And I just want to break down some of the elements of your story because I love this is one of the reasons why I love this podcast. I always tend to attract believers, people of faith who has seen just favor walk through each step of their relationship. And the reason why I love your story is because although you were underemployed, it gave opportunity for you to be present. And then I loved how your story also talks about that community around you that was able to support you. I know in this military life, we have our family, but those that are around us, those who are that we serve with, that we work with, um, those churches, those local churches that end up becoming a part of our family, those are so valuable. And I love that even as your marriage grew stronger within this circumstance, it took other people speaking life into it, supporting it for it also to continue to grow. And I just want to remind any of the listeners, that's why you should be aware and be intentional about the people that you have around you and around your marriage. There are some people who want to see you win. They just want to see you do well. They want to see your family blessed. And those are the people that you should have around your relationship. So I am excited to hear. That was an amazing story. I wasn't expecting all of those twists and turns, but it worked out well. So tell us a little bit about where you are now, kind of in your career, both of your careers, still in the engineering career field. Um, how has your marriage continued to grow and develop as you navigate your individual careers?
right. So I'm still active duty, lieutenant colonel. Now the two kids, and we're going strong, and just navigating, like you said, that communication that we built out of that assignment, it goes with us everywhere we go, right? So just being able to talk about, hey, I have this going on. How do our schedules not balance? What do the kids need? And then how do we balance all of that? And balance is
Right.
probably more like a pendulum.
Yes. Yes. I'm glad you said it that way because people are like, oh, everything has to be
Oh, goodness.
equal. Like, no, that's normally not how it works when it comes to relationship balance.
Exactly. It's definitely a pendulum. But at the heart of our marriage is we want to make sure that we're intentional about keeping our communication open, keeping us together, and making sure the kids have what they need. And that's played out in various ways. I mean, I've commanded twice. And so sometimes that's more like I'm on the BlackBerry, right? Or on the iPhone. So I may drop off kids. He may need to pick them up. I may be on my phone in the parking lot. He may have to take an early meeting so I can work late. Like just trying to
Yes.
work out those
Mm-hmm.
schedules and ebbs and flows and make sure the kids have what they need. And then we've continued in our growth at church and so forth. So all of that's been real center for us. And then we both have a passion for STEM and seeing minorities and women really involved in STEM. And so I know you have your group at work that you're a member of. And then I do a lot of work in the STEM arena. So again, so like we have things that we're passionate about. And then our church has a marriage ministry that we're a part of. So it's just like, I just say a lot of the things that we learned out of that assignment have just been really reinforced in our marriage.
Yeah. Yeah, and what I loved about that, even that you mentioned, is it talks to one of the things that I try to advocate for here on this platform. And it's simply that when your marriage is strong, or after you've kind of gone through these things, you have the lesson learned, like your marriage blesses other people and the people around you. So, like, you, in my eyes, from my definition, I would say that is a power couple. You have two minorities in a STEM field that are now giving back to the next generation. That is a way that your marriage blesses other people. In the church, you have a story. You can share the things that you went through, how you were able to communicate. That blesses people in that community who may be going through that tough time and not sure how to utilize all the things from marriage counseling in that moment. So I love that your story and even your example, let's take it a higher level, your example also can impact the communities that you are allowed to be around as you continue to move. Since you did mention that you are active duty. So I think it's a value for strong marriages to be planted in these different communities, because each community gets blessed a little bit every time we stop and we move through them. So any last advice that you two may have for any of our military couples that are listening?
Be be intentional wherever you go.
Yes.
That's something that in our first assignment we knew that we're not going to be there for very long, so we're not going to really step out there and get involved in as any activities and groups as we normally would have.
Right.
And then on starting on that second assignment, we were like, nope, from the jump, this is what we're gonna do. So once we we got in during the children's church and just coordinating with other people that were in the community and with her cohort and it actually. And then, of course, on subsequent assignments, we once again we're going to just go. We don't know how long we're going to be here, but we're
Right.
going to learn as much as we can and give as much as we can, whether
That's
that's
good.
with our time or resources.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that you said one of my buzzwords, which is being intentional. And I really think it makes a difference. Just because I'm sure you've seen it, other couples, other people that serve, they just kind of feel like they just go wherever the wind blows them. They're not intentional about how they carry themselves in their squadron. They're not intentional about connecting with the community. They're not intentional about their giving and serving. And that's a whole nother topic for another show. But I really do appreciate you sharing that from your perspective, because I completely agree that intentionality really makes the difference in your family's experience as you go through this military lifestyle, and it really impacts your marriage in just a different way.
Very true.
So before I let you guys go, we're going to round things off, of course, with our heart tracks. For anyone who wants to listen to the full list, the playlist of our heart tracks, you can find them at Spotify at Heart Tracks 2. Just search Heart Tracks 2. So, what is the heart track for this episode? And then you have to tell us why.
Oh,
That's you.
So it is Usher, Something Special.
All right.
I don't know. Do I need to sing it in order?
No, you sing it if you want to, but just share why'd you pick that one?
So in the chorus, I think I found something special. Girl, you and me together we'll take over the world. You know I love you. I need you so happy. I just want to let everybody know. And that was true 11 years, 12 years ago, and it's true today.
That's beautiful. I love it. I was about to turn my camera off and just leave and let y'all end on that note. But I love it. That is our heart track. Shout out to Usher. Thank you so much for being on Hearts and Stripes podcast. I am so excited for people to hear your story, to be encouraged by it. And anyone who is interested in a STEM career field, I know there are some spouses out there who are interested. I will drop a link to some resources, especially some resources if you are a minority looking into the STEM career field, ways that you can get connected, whether it be through a civil engineering squadron or through some contract opportunities. I will drop a link to some resources to help you get connected, especially if you are someone who has a degree and maybe in an underemployment situation. We would love to point you in the right direction for that. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to rate, subscribe, and review. This is Hearts and Stripes. We are the few, the proud, that aim high and are forged by love. Always ready, always there. We are Mill Marriage Strong.